Welcome back to another episode of the Football Pundits. It's me, Animesh, again doing this episode solo. Had an average last week. I'm guessing a lot of other managers do face the same problem. Some Pep Roulette getting you down again. And if you've been playing FPL for as long as we all have, you know that's something just you still never get used to, right? No Cancelo, no Gundogan, no Sterling, and no Foden for the ones who are backing him. No Stones. That's the reason why a lot of us are still holding on to the wild card. So in this episode, I'm going to do obviously a wild card draft as well. Might not use the wild card myself. I think I'm going to push it as far as possible now. Looking at the way Liverpool are doing, could rest players maybe. Don't know who could start for City. Obviously, that's anyone's guess, right? So I'm not comfortable using the wild card. I'll anyway give a draft for that later in the episode. I started off with giving you guys a look at the team, showing you what general transfer moves you could make, teams with the best fixtures possible, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm going to move to my team right now. Well, as you can see, not the best setup for this week, right? Which is why the wild card was on the cards for game week 31 onwards. But Antonio injuries kind of thrown a wrench in those plans and made it worse. Bamford, obviously, again, not too excited to see him playing Man City. Same with Kane, Son, and Fernandes. They're playing each other. I really don't see what we saw in the start of the season. Another big scoring game there. So could might as well or easily end up a nil all, 1-0, and three really, really poor scores for outfielders there. One of Stones or Diaz could easily be benched again. I thought the biggest problem I had this week was going to just be the Spurs versus the Spurs versus United game, but clearly City and Pep Roulette is obviously taken over and added a lot of doubts over there, right? Now, last couple of weeks back, I also moved on my bench players to make room for the likes of Harry Kane and to look at the midfield that you see. Uh, that set me back because I've ended up playing with 10 players very often in the last few weeks. It's kind of getting me down a bit. So I don't know if that's the way to go ahead. But wildcard still is not tempting me, right? There's just so much uncertainty. Could easily be Diaz bench this week because he's played international break. In the international break, he's played every game, played in the Champions League. Stones could take in place with Laporte and Diaz could be rested for the Dortmund game coming up. Just never really sure what's going to happen there, right? Antonio obviously is going to be missing out. So as of now, the only player I have coming in is Dallas. Not much hope there either. That's where I see myself again ended up with 10 players somehow, and that's making me nervous. So let's look at some of the moves you could make if you're not wildcarding, right? So I have two free transfers because I saved one in the bank last week. I was going to go for Rudiger. I had a feeling that he might not play, and I'm glad I didn't go for that because that would have hurt me even more. Looking at the two free transfers that I have, obvious to think that Antonio out could be a slightly long-term injury with his hamstring. So he'd be one of my moves out. Now, the second move out, obviously, the debate has been about Jota or Salah, right? If you have money in the bank and you're looking at taking out City players completely, which is really, again, not a bad bet going ahead because the ownership of the midfielders is falling. Gundogan at 32% right now, but there is possibility that you could see him benched again. He played the full 90 against Dortmund. You could go for Salah and Jota and completely leave out City, right? If you have the money for it, it's not really a bad option per se. You could do that. You could also, so let's see. Now, I don't have the money to make that move, but I'm just going to give you a visual representation here as why we're talking about that. Now, there is a lot of doubt about one of these two being rested as well, possibly both of them, because they could go all out of the Champions League since they don't have much to play for otherwise. Everyone's been talking about Liverpool and their fixtures, right? Villa, you can just see it. Newcastle, United being the only tough one there. The fixtures are not a problem. The fixtures say go for it. Uh, Looking at how Gundogan is benched, KDB could be benched. This still seems like a safe option actually, where you are covered one of the two Liverpool players, and Jota was always known of coming off the bench and getting in those points either way. So this could not be a bad way to actually go about it, especially if your defense is tight. You don't have the two uh, defense conundrum like I do. You already have the likes of Rudiger or Says looking at Wolves' good fixture on coming in. Maybe even looking at the Leicester defense since they have good couple of fixtures coming up. So if your only problem is really trying to move away from the Man City midfield headache, this could be a good way to go. Alternatively, yes, Lingard is also another option for managers here. We have an issue with Rice's injury as well as the injury to Antonio. But Lingard has yet to blank so far. Eventually, his numbers could end up being in check. But at 6.3, looking at the next two fixtures, Leicester, Newcastle, if you keep your wild card in hand like me, not really a bad move. I would still say easily worth it. Leicester not easily there to be walked over completely, but we've seen this West Ham side kind of getting in the goals either way. Even once Antonio was taken off, right? Wolves did come back, but West Ham seemed to have that in them to get those goals, which is why I'd also say if you have Soufal and Cresswell, I would still keep them in for a week or two, at least till they're not done with the game week 32 fixture. Looking at how set pieces could come into play again if they don't have Antonio, the target man up ahead, how they play with Bowen, whoever else coming in, we don't know, right? So I would hold on to Soufal or Cresswell as well for the set pieces. And even Suchek in your team at 5.3, again, a bargain could come back into play. And it was easy also to note that Suchek, in Antonio's absence, had more attacking presence than he did once Antonio was back. That could come into play again, depending on who starts in the middle. And if Suchek is playing a little more advanced than he has been since Antonio was back. So if I do something like this, I have 6.3 left in the bank, like we spoke about last week. Options here are Iheanacho. Again, very worried about him being back on the bench with Madison back, right? Could easily see him. Look, he didn't get a goal against City. Tough to compare getting a goal against City and being taken off when your team needs a goal. Doing well, but he seems like one of those streaky players. You're always worried about another benching coming with the players getting fit, right? So I'm just very, very about Iheanacho. Iheanacho is definitely well within the budget. He's at 5.8. And I'll show that to you right now. Budget's not really the problem. Problem is, will he really start? Then I could end up with, if he doesn't start, I could end up with Bamford. Not much hope from him there. Kane, Son, Fernandes, Lingard, Salah, me, Dallas, Diaz. And obviously Johnson I'll be playing in this week because if I go for free transfers, I can't afford to make a move for a keeper. I'm again always worried about Stones and Diaz, one of them not playing. So I'm just again worried about having to play with just 10 players, which is my worry with Iheanacho. I don't want to go down to 9 in case the defender and Iheanacho both don't play, right? So the safe option there, again, look, you have two options. You have now West Brom could be a big punt, right? They got a result against against Chelsea, sorry. Not saying the best players and the most bankable, but the week after definitely is a good one to take a punt on Diagne, Callum Robson. They're playing Southampton, Leicester, Villa, Wolves till 34. You could take a risk on those players. That's if you're looking to make room in your squad for better players and to have players on your bench with rotation, right? I'm not necessarily saying these are your go-to players to get a big score because we've seen Pereira before as well, ends up with double-digit hauls and then completely goes missing in the next 10 games. So it is a worry there as well. So I'll just show you the West Brom fixtures. Right, looking at West Brom's team, so you have Pereira at 5.3. Like I said, the fixtures are Southampton, Leicester, Villa, Wolves. Not the best options. So yeah, Callum Robinson, sorry, there at 5.2. Just enough to, he came on against Chelsea. He's not started the last 8 before that. This could be a good money-saving move for the ones who, again, I'm repeating, for the ones who don't have issues with defense, who got in the likes of Rudiger or a Chelsea defender to cover, have 11 starting players guaranteed with their bench option. If you're looking to save money to make your moves in midfield, to cover your City player to Liverpool, to maybe upgrade one of your defenders to even the likes of Trent, by the way. The only way I see yourself making room there is downgrading one of your strikers, Bamford, or if you have the likes of Antonio, for me, it's the default because he's going to be injured for a while as of now, and making room else over there. Now, if you're looking to target Leicester's fixtures, right, we do expect the Madison to get a run in either this week or the week after onwards. You could then, if you're worried about West Ham's possible diminishing returns, you could always go in for Madison as well. Those are what I would do if I had to make my moves. My first option, I think, is trying running it with Salah and Jota, but the only way I can do that, like I showed you guys, is downgrading to a striker, a budget striker who ideally, hopefully, will start. Second option is going in for the likes of Salah, keeping Salah in my team, going in for Lingard, rolling with him, seeing how he fits into the squad with the likes of Bowen coming in. Souček could come into play. So hold on to your West Ham players for another game week or two at least. And the other option, obviously, is looking at the likes of Madison. And why Madison is because West Ham looked a tough game on paper, but Leicester could get past them. And after that, they have West Brom, Palace, Southampton, Newcastle. Very, very tempting fixtures till 36. So definitely one to keep an eye out on. So these are the basic transfers I'm considering, assuming I don't wildcard and I don't take a -4, right? If I do end up getting tempted to, let's say, take a -4, um, I might not go in there for Madison. I would possibly look at Lingard, and I'd consider possibly upgrading Stones or Diaz. So I can't really get in Trent, although Trent's a good option. I could, instead take Stones all the way down to Phillips because he's a playing centre back. I know at a very good price point right now, targeting Liverpool's fixture specifically. I can only do that if I don't take Jota though, because I have Jones in my team, Curtis Jones, who I regret getting in now. He was a filler player. I should have just gone for Smith Rowe at that time and save myself this headache of not having 3 Liverpool players already. But I could get in Phillips over there, money in the bank for when I use my wild card after the blank in 33, right? ID 34 is then when I would wild card, keeping in mind that 35 could have a couple of double game week fixtures in there as well. This is if I take a -4 and balance out my squad with what I see is possibly all players starting minus Jones, obviously, and even Kilman there. The other way I look at it is, again, not target Liverpool and go in for Chelsea because even after that West Brom result, you still trust Chelsea to not possibly concede that many goals again and having a solid-ish base in the back. Chelsea play Palace and Brighton with a tough game with West Ham, kind of, and then Fulham. So again, solid fixture till 34. So this is what I could possibly look at if I want to just make sure I have a playing team to get 11 players in, covering fixtures with teams whose fixtures are improving, and getting away from the City headache, which will anyway be a problem for me in 33 when they don't end up playing along with Spurs, right? So I will have less players to worry about. And possibly if I don't use a transfer next week and save 2 for 33, I could make moves and get a playing 11 in 33 without having to take a minus. This is what I'm looking at so far. Now I'm going to reset and tell you guys what if I ended up wildcarding as I planned to earlier. These are the players I was looking at. So I'm going to reset this. Now, if I was going to wildcard, definitely have to move on my keeper, right? And for me, Mendy was the way to go. Now, interestingly, Martinez still kept in a couple of points last week despite conceding. So if you want, you can hold on to Martinez because Villa don't look as bad as you'd expect them to. They're getting in those points. So you can hold on to Martinez. If you're wildcarding, though, trying to make room in your squad, see how much money you have left for the players you want in midfield. For running short, Mendy, not a bad option, obviously. So I'm going to get in Mendy over there. I think Johnston out is what I'd look at. I'll get in a playing keeper at 4. I would take that any day as a backup. I would take out the likes of Ben Mee. Wolves have a great set of fixtures coming in. Yes, they've struggled with clean sheets, but hopefully they can do something end of season, right? So the Fulham, Sheffield, Burnley, West Brom, Brighton. Have to target those definitely if I'm wildcarding, that is. I think Dallas is a player I'd be done with. In that case, I'm going to go in here for Liverpool. Or I could even target in a Stuick there, get in Leeds and just keep in a player who might just balance out my squad. I wouldn't mind doubling up on Chelsea, so I would go in for Rudiger over here. Still seems like a safe bet, especially with Thiago Silva's red card. At least a week or two, he won't be playing. I've got Rudiger over there for me. Now I have a couple of options, right? I could leave Diaz in as it is, or I could move on to a West Ham player. Now I'm still tempted to go back to Cresswell only because of the potential of attacking returns there. So I could end up doing that right over there. I could then either keep in Stones and get in Cresswell, or I could get in Cresswell, remove Stones, and completely go over the City issue, right? Moving on to my midfield and striking force, I would definitely then, if I'm wildcarding, want to get in either Watkins or DCL. I'm leaning towards DCL. I would downgrade. Looking at just again looking at Leeds fixture run, I don't know if I want to keep in Bamford in my team either. I possibly look at a playing five in my midfield and downgrade to two playing strikers. You can just look at uh, Burnley. I can maybe have a look at Vidra, who's been playing right now. 4.8, not a good option right now, just a filler. I then have the option of obviously shaking things up in midfield. I want to remove Jones because I want the option of bringing in uh, Trent Alexander-Arnold if I want after a while. Smith Rowe again seemed like a good bargain at his price point. So I'm just going to get Smith Rowe in there simply for a player who plays. I then have the likes options of looking at Gundogan. Now, if I'm going to wild card, right, I don't want the City headache, like I said. I'll completely, I think, do away with him again at 6.7. I can go in for the likes of Lingard at 6.3. I can go in for the likes of I can go in for the likes of Pereira at West Brom if I want to take a punt. There are a few other options as well, though. You can always consider Chelsea, right? So Mason Mount at 7.1 now is a little pricey. I can always move that around, though. Looking at how my team is set up, I can definitely downgrade my striker to a non-playing striker even more. Uh, can forget that fixture. Have a look at. I think just keeping Davis there. I think Davis not obviously played too many games. He started a few minutes, got a few minutes in last couple of games. Just gonna go in for Davis over there, make my life easy. So I could get in Mount at 7.1. You could also get in Jay Madison to cover those fixtures as well. If you don't want to go for a triple Chelsea, which again would be okay if you don't want to do that. Just for the sake of representation, I'm showing you Madison there. That's ideally a team I'd look at, a team with balance and good fixtures. Says has good fixtures. Mendy, Rudiger have good fixtures coming up. Cresswell with attacking return potential. Madison with a good fixture run from 30, I would say from 32 to 35 himself. DCL with the option of an extra fixture coming up somewhere with Aston Villa, plus Brighton, Sheffield, Wolves, good couple of games there. If you're not banking Everton to do well and you want to go in for another striker, either hold on to Bamford just for his value of a playing striker and getting in that goal in a couple of games, or you could also look at Watkins there in that case. Like we spoke about Martinez earlier, the fixture run is not tempting at all. You can see Liverpool, City, they have West Brom, Everton, but then United, Palace, Tottenham, Chelsea. Again, not the best fixtures, but Watkins could get in the returns. Interesting though that Grealish is going to definitely be missing out from what we know for a few more weeks. So that could reduce his appeal. And if you're looking away from these players and you completely don't mind taking a punt, you don't have Madison in your side, you got in for Mount, or let's say you got in for the likes of Jesse Lingard, or you've gone in for the likes of Jota. 8.6 in the bank, you could definitely look at Danny Ings again. Yes, again, Southampton, not the best fixtures. Ings bug has bitten us before, but West Brom, Spurs, Leicester, Liverpool, Fulham, Leeds, West Ham, Palace. I think apart from Tottenham and Liverpool, the fixtures are there. Definitely, again, a player you'd be having missing out in 33, along with Kane if you have Kane and any City player. But one to keep an eye out on if you think that Southampton, with their players coming back, could make a strong push to the end of the season, the way we see it. That's ideally where you could look at a wildcard team with good balance. keeping Salah in your squad. Obviously, there are a lot of permutations to this. You could take out Salah, get in Jota, uh, or take out Salah, get in KDB, take out Lingard, go in for Jota there instead. You downgrade Inks down to DCL, and you can make all of that happen, right? So again, visually, just to show you guys, I'm gonna make those moves. And if you absolutely want your City players, that is, and you don't want to let go of KDB and you still think it's a good option, then this is a team you could also be potentially looking at. De Bruyne, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Son, Fernandes, Jota, you have covered in a Liverpool player there as well. You could move on Jota, get in Lingard if you think West Ham are going to do well. But I would not stay off Liverpool players completely. I would kind of hedge it somewhere and get in Liverpool cover because that fixture run is very hard to ignore, right? I wouldn't idly look that way. If you end up with money in the bank, like I showed you earlier, completely stay away from City and all, you could take in that money and even get in Trent Alexander-Arnold for one of your defenders. But yeah, that's essentially what we are looking at when you wildcard. Now, obviously, the captain pick this week isn't going to be easy or an easy one on its own. Salah against Villa is definitely not 100% like Kane against Newcastle was, right? But I still see, looking at the way Liverpool have been playing in the league, patchy form at home, but they could get goals past Villa. Will Salah start? He should. That's the worry over there about players starting and looking at rotation, right? I mean, again, a player we've not spoken about, a player I didn't bring up in my wild card, nor did I bring up any other Arsenal player apart from Smith Rowe to consider. But if you have Oba in your squad, they're playing Sheffield. Oba, Lacazette could be good captain shouts, according to me. And maybe you could consider them as an outside punt or even a differential of sort. Oba is owned by 9%. I wouldn't really say differential because differential for me is less than 5%. But Sheffield, Fulham, Everton, Newcastle, West Brom, decent fixture run there. So if you're really looking to stay away from City completely and you're hedging a bet with Jota, you could go in for Oba. And if you go in for Oba, then I would say makes sense to captain him. Looking at the players I have this week, I think I would probably go, safety first and look at captaining Salah if that's before I made my moves. If not Salah, if I end up getting Jota in his place, I wouldn't be shy of captaining Jota either. I do see returns over there. But yeah, I would look at the Arsenal assets for this week for the ones who have them. And for the ones who are looking to move away from City, like I said, and get them in, definitely getting them in would mean you're captaining them against Sheffield. Chelsea, not too convinced, only looking at how their players or the attackers have been looking. Apart from Mason Mount, no one looks that good. So for me, a differential captain shout out would be Mason Mount for me there. Otherwise, I would kind of steer clear from Werner and Havertz too over there. Anyway, that was the episode. Hope I helped you guys out with a possible transfers, the fixtures to look at, the teams to keep an eye out on. If you have any questions, hit us up in our Twitter and on Instagram. Hit us up in the comment section as well. Don't forget to leave a like on this video. We could use our subscribers as well. So hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. Best of luck for this week. And hopefully all of us will be back together on the Fundits next week. Take care, guys.